Is it transphobic to not want to date a trans person? No.
I believe that refusing to date transgender folks because they are transgender is a form of transphobia. However, I think there are different levels of transphobia. On a scale of 1 to 10, messing up someone's pronoun would be lower on the scale, while offenses closer to 10 would be deliberately using the wrong pronoun, or being Caitlyn Jenner.
What? Not only do these people spend their time and energy on creating a bunch of labels that are unnecessary in my opinion, they also spend their time on making every single label a spectrum. I mean, the only thing I have to say to that is you need to get out some more. Enjoy the fresh air. It's good for you. I generally think it's a little bit obsessive to analyze people's opinions, intentions, instead of just listening to them. It's quite hard to respect a community that is full of hate and would never, ever respect you as who you are.
I personally would put refusal to date trans folks on the lower end of the transphobia scale. I just don't understand why folks can say that they accept trans women as women and then refuse to date them even though they're attracted to women.
Even though I know you're not actually asking a question, you're just making a statement, I'm gonna answer your question anyways. Of course, the trans women who pass as women in society will be seen as such, but never biologically. They would always be biological men, and generally straight men are not attracted to that. That's kind of the whole point of heterosexuality in men.
In my world, that's acceptance with an asterisk. It's like saying that insects are food, or that Tucker Carlson is a human. Both are technically true, but...
Was that supposed to be funny? I forgot to laugh, I'm sorry. You don't need to date trans people just to prove that you're not against trans people.
If you say you wouldn't date a trans woman, you are transphobic. Trans women are women. The only argument that I can understand is if they have a certain genitalia that you are not sexually attracted to. But if your only reason for not dating trans women is because they're trans or they were born a different gender at birth, you are in fact transphobic.
Your video doesn't make any sense. Trans women are trans women. The reason why they're trans is because of their set of genitalia. So, that goes against your entire argument.
Personally, I think that if someone already found you attractive, but then all of a sudden lost all interest in you because they found out that you're trans, I think that is transphobic.
Oh my god. I would say there's a difference between finding a person attractive and then wanting to sleep with them. And also, you can find someone aesthetically pleasing without being sexually attracted to them. But even if you are sexually attracted to a trans person, you find out that they're trans and you think, that's not for me, I don't want to sleep with them, that's of course perfectly fine too.
And of course, all of the cis people are always going to come to the defense and say that, well, that's their preference. That's not transphobic. Haven't we learned anything? If you're not trans, please don't tell trans people what is and what is not transphobic.
Oh great, well I'm trans and I'm gonna say you're full of shit. If that's how it works, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong and it's not transphobic. What are you gonna do about it? I already know the answer. You're gonna say that I'm self-hating, that I lick cis people's boots, whatever that means. I'm just desperate to be a pick-me. But no matter what, any person can talk about trans issues. That's kind of the point of freedom of speech the last time I checked, so yeah, just stop.
Second of all, I think it's completely okay to know that yes, that's your personal preference, but also acknowledge the fact that your preference is transphobic.
What type of genitalia you're attracted to is not a preference. Unless you're bisexual, of course. When I hear the word preference, I hear I like this more than that. When I say that I prefer chocolate as a dessert more than ice cream, it doesn't mean that I don't like ice cream. But to be more on topic, when I hear someone say, I prefer to date a girl with blonde hair instead of brown hair, what I do not hear is, I could never, ever in my life date a woman with brown hair. Me personally, I prefer to date older men, but that doesn't mean I could never date a man my age. You being attracted to biological women or biological men is not a preference. If you're not attracted to a penis, you cannot help it. That's kind of the argument that LGBT activists have have been using for so many years to gain more acceptance in society. What the hell happened? With these stupid people's logic, it would be sexist for a gay man not wanting to date a woman.
You don't have to date trans people if you don't want to. We're not starving for you. I want to change the narrative that we always the one that being rejected. Let's start doing some rejecting. You don't want to date us because we're trans. We don't want to date you because you're transphobic.
Then what's the problem? Let's say this one individual is extremely transphobic, hates everything trans, and he doesn't want to date you. Why do you care? If that's even the case, why does it matter? You wouldn't be with him anyway, so when I used to be on dating apps, I did not feel rejected. I didn't feel any form of rejection because it's so simple. If someone didn't want to date me, they didn't reach out to me. That's kind of the whole point. When we keep having the same discussion over and over again, if it's transphobic not to want to date a trans person, it's sending a signal that nobody wants to date you. If you're completely comfortable with your dating life, why do we keep talking about it? Why do you always say between the lines, nobody wants to date me?
Tinder is full of transphobes. Like, I just have to believe that, because if that's not true, then it just means that I'm not nearly as pretty as I thought I was, and I physically could not handle that. I refuse to believe that I am the problem because my mental health simply could not take it. So we're gonna say that they're being transphobic. That's what we're going with.
Are you aware that you're just stealing my words here? I mean, now I don't have to say it. You admit it yourself, and that makes my job a little bit easier, so thank you. Maybe this was meant to be funny and a joke, but there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. Most trans activists, who are not even trans, refuse to believe that they are a part of the problem. And the reason why they have a hard time finding someone who wants to date them is because they're insufferable, not because they're trans.
Let's say that you're attracted to women. Well, if you're attracted to women, then you're attracted to cis women, trans women without bottom surgery, and trans women with bottom surgery. If you're attracted to VJ, then you could be attracted to a cis woman, a trans man without bottom surgery, a trans woman with bottom surgery, or a non-binary person, which, depending on their assigned gender at birth, having or not having had the surgery. But it is that exclusion that makes it transphobic.
Did anyone understand a word of what he said? But the last thing I want to talk about, is it gay if a man is dating a trans woman? Let's find out. What triggered me most about this video is the term open-minded. You cannot change your sexual orientation. You cannot help what biological sex you're attracted to by being more open-minded. If you as a biological man find biological women attractive, but also some biological men, then you're technically bisexual. Homosexuality, heterosexuality, and bisexuality is rooted in biological sex. That's why the word sex is involved. It refers to biological sex and not intercourse. Those terms are technical terms, so if we're going to talk about it, if you're a biological man dating another biological man, then you're technically in a homosexual relationship. However, and this is very important, if one of the biological men looks completely as a woman, in every single social situation, it wouldn't make sense to define them as a homosexual couple, as a gay couple, right? In every single social situation, you would see them as a straight couple, and I think that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of gay men who are interested in my situation and are attracted to me, a lot of masculine tops who's attracted to me, a young twink who didn't get bottom surgery. And I don't think I need to explain why that is. I could, but it's not YouTube friendly. And now I'm probably getting a little bit controversial. I don't have the need to tell them that they're not real gay men and they're actually bisexual because I'm a biological woman. I don't feel the need to do that. Mostly because these gay men who are attracted to trans men like me will never, ever date women who look like women. This topic is of course complicated. There are some gray areas, but what we all need to understand is you cannot help who you're attracted to. you cannot help being attracted to one set of genitals and you're not attracted to another set. So if we can just respect that, I think it's all going to be fine. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want, you can support me with a small donation under Super Thanks. It would mean the world to me, so thank you on beforehand. And you could also become a member to see exclusive content decided by you. So join the family. And I hope to see you all in my next video, so peace out.